Albert Einstein said it so right. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create those problems. So what does he mean by that? He means that we need to actually start changing our thinking if we want to focus on a solution rather than a problem. And today in this video, I'm going to share the 6 mental faculties that will help you change your thinking to get the results that you desire in life. See, we think that we're always thinking, and I used to think that as well. But my mentor, Bob Proctor, showed it to me how I was so wrong. And once he explained these mental faculties to me, I was like, oh my gosh, for so many years, I have actually not done thinking. What I've been doing, and probably what you are doing today, is called mental activity. And I'm sure you're walking down the road and you will notice that there is this chatter going on in your mind automatically. And I want you to know that's not thinking, that's the mental activity that is going on in your mind automatically. But to create the results that you want, to create the life that you desire, you need to understand the 6 mental faculties that we have been blessed with. Many people come to me asking me, but how do I get there? How? Once they've set the goals, how do I get there? Maybe this is the question that you ask yourself, but how do I do this? So this 6 mental faculties is the answer to that how. So let me explain them to you one by one. So the first mental faculty is perception. It's your perspective in life, because we think, we look at life from our perspective. It's your point of view. Some people have a point of view that life is hard. Life is all about hardships. You know, I'm a victim of life, and that's what you believe. And that is what your lens of life is. And you start to look at life from that angle. And because you look at life from that angle, guess what? You start attracting circumstances, situations from that angle. As I said, there is no right and wrong. It depends upon your perspective in life. Same thing could be right for you and wrong for me. And the way the mind works, it does not know what is right or wrong, what's healthy or unhealthy. But how we see things, that's how the results will shape out, because that's what we believe about it. And I also really believe that once we start understanding the role of perception, majority of arguments between husband and wife, between couples will sort out. Why? Because it always is neither you are right, neither I am wrong. You're right from your perspective and I'm right from my perspective. So that's the first mental faculty. The second mental faculty I want to talk about is reason. Reasoning gives us the ability to separate what is right and what's wrong. It gives us the ability to think actually. Every time I really think that perception and reason go hand in hand. For example, if someone has a perspective, you have a perspective that I do not attract clients easily in my business. Maybe that's your perspective. Or people come to me, they are ready to pay, but then they do not. They back out. Maybe that's your perception. Your perception about your business is, oh, it is hard to enroll clients. It is hard to sell. I can't make to that amount of money that you want in your life. And that is your perception currently. So reason that thought. Is that really true? Is that true for everyone? Maybe not. There are people out there who are making millions in my industry. There are people out there who are doing really well, who are attracting clients easily, effortlessly. Oh, so that means this is not about the industry I am in. It's about me. And when you really start reasoning that all of these beliefs, right, whatever belief system you have, the habits, the behaviors, they're coming from your past. They're coming from probably when you were young. You were not born with those. This is something called learned behavior. You have looked at your parents or maybe people you were growing up with. You have picked up on this behavior and now you're living with those habits, those behaviors and those beliefs. So when you start reasoning, it gives you the ability to think. And then you can start separating, oh, this actually is human conditioning. This is not something that I was born with. This is not something that I was just raised with, not born with. And that frees you. So that gives you the ability to actually say, oh, so why can't I do this? I can do this, and gives you that I can attitude, and you can start doing things in life. The third mental faculty that I want to talk about is about will. And when I talk about will, it is not the willpower, but the will to hold this in your mind, the will to hold this in your imagination that I can do it. It's the will to hold that image in your mind where you're going in life. It's the will to hold that emotion that where you want to be in life. And the more you start getting emotionally involved with where you want to go, the will get you go there easily, effortlessly. The fourth mental faculty that I'm going to share today is about imagination. And if you really ask me, imagination is my number one business tool. This is what I teach my clients. It's your number one business tool. It's your number one tool for everything in life. Because ask yourself today, unconsciously, you're imagining what's not going well in your life. You're imagining the worst outcome. You're imagining how things could go wrong. But what if you can change this imagination into what if this could work for you? What if this is going to look like this? What if you can create the reality that you desire and go into that imagination? Start creating the image of how you want your life to be. Start creating the imagination of how things will look amazingly well in your business, the type of clients you want to attract, the amount of clients you want to attract in your business, the amount of money that you want to make in your business. Start imagining all of that. So that's your number one business tool. I remember when I was going through fibromyalgia in my life and chronic fatigue, unconsciously I was imagining myself as not fit enough in my life. Because I was coming from my current reality. I was looking at my current reality. Oh, this is how it's working on. This is not what I can do. So I was imagining the worst in my life. I was always imagining, oh, I'm 30. I remember telling my therapist at that point, I'm 30 today. And you know what I worry about? What will happen when I'll be 60? So 10 years of that doubt and worry about what is my 50s going to look like. I never imagined that actually in 40s, I wouldn't have this problem. I always thought it's going to only get worse and worse. And I want you to reflect today in your life. How many times is it that you go and you're imagining the worst outcome? I want you to stop, because this is where you need to take the power back and start creating what you want in your life. The fifth mental faculty that I want to talk about is memory. This is a beautiful one. The reason is because how many times are you stuck in your past? And let me guess, they're not so wonderful memories. They are of sad moments. They are moments that have hurt you, that have triggered you again and again emotionally. And those are the memories that you have. And because every time you revisit those memories, you are getting emotionally involved in those memories, and you're recreating the same thing again and again, same patterns in your life. So the time has come to take that power back and to actually create future memories. And for that, you need imagination. For that, you need a new perspective. For that, you need a will to hold that new image in your mind. Now, can you see how all of these mental faculties will help you to get the results in your life? How these are the how, the answer to the how. How am I going to get there? This is how you're going to get there. So the other thing that I want to talk about is the last mental faculty is intuition. And intuition is again not your sixth sense. It's what is your gut telling you. It's really about tapping in, sitting in silence and listening to that energy that is flowing to and through you. And really taking that inspired action then. These mental faculties, I like using them as a toolbox. This is what separates you and me from the animal kingdom. Because animals do not have this power. This is where the power has been given to us. This is where the power has been given to all of us to create the reality. You must have all heard, you and I are the creators of our own reality. And this is how we create that reality. So these are the mental faculties: imagination, intuition, will, memory, perception. All of these mental faculties will help you shape the life that you desire in. So what I want you to do is, I want you to write out your goal. Where is it that you're going? And then start working on your mental faculties every single day to get you where you want to be in your life. I hope this video was of help and you are going to start implementing these mental faculties to get where you want to go in your life.